The roar of his motorcycle used to drown out the silence of his life. But on that fading autumn afternoon, even the engine couldn't cover the feeling clawing inside his chest. He had been running for years, running from memories, from choices, from himself. But as he rode past a quiet stretch of farmland, something made him hit the brakes so suddenly that gravel spat out beneath his tires. There, in the golden glow of the descending sun, an elderly woman struggled under the weight of a pile of firewood. Her arms trembled, her face tightened with pain, and yet she pushed forward, refusing to give up for a man who believed he had seen everything. That small moment cracked something open inside him. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the unexpected goodness still left in the world, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps bring more real stories of hope to life. He sat there straddling his bike, watching her, feeling something unfamiliar tug at him, an ache he hadn't felt since he'd cut himself off from the world. The old woman stumbled, almost dropping the wood. An instinct took over. Without thinking, he stepped off the bike and strode toward her. She froze when she saw him. The leather vest, the insignia, the hardened stare. But he wasn't there to intimidate her. He reached out, steadying the wood in her arms. His hands, scarred and strong, felt strangely gentle against the rough bark. She blinked at him with a mixture of relief and fear, and for a brief second, their eyes met. One weary from a lifetime of hard work, the other from a lifetime of hard choices he carried the wood for. Her toward the small cabin tucked at the edge of the clearing, feeling strangely out of place in that peaceful world. Smoke curled from the chimney, and the smell of pine lingered in the air. It felt like stepping into a memory he never had. Something warm, something safe. As they approached the porch, he noticed the quiet tremor in her hands, the weakness in her steps, and the way she pressed her lips together as if hiding pain. She didn't ask him why he stopped. She didn't thank him or smile, but something in her silence made him feel more welcome than any words could. Inside the cabin, he placed the wood beside a worn-out stove. The place was modest, almost fragile, like it had been holding itself together for someone who didn't know how to ask for help. He realized she lived alone. No family photos, no signs of visitors, just quiet, endless quiet. It struck him deeply, this loneliness that mirrored his own, yet hers felt heavier somehow, as if time itself had forgotten her. He should have left. Then his brothers were probably miles ahead, expecting him to catch up, but something rooted him there. He stepped outside and chopped the rest of the firewood himself, feeling the rhythm of the axe echo through his bones. When he finished, he saw her standing in the doorway, eyes glistening, not from tears, but from memories she thought she'd sealed away. In that moment, he felt something shift, a connection born not of words, but of pain recognized. As the sun dipped behind the trees, painting the sky in orange and gold, she brought him a cup of tea. He sat on the porch while she stood beside him, and the silence between them grew comfortable. He didn't tell her who he was. Not about the gang, not about the fights, not about the years filled with regret. She didn't need to know. And strangely, he found he didn't need to confess. He simply existed there, for once without judgment. But the universe has a way of testing fragile moments. A sudden cough shook her body, violent and harsh. He caught her shoulders, helping her steady herself. Her breath came shallow, her voice faint as she tried to wave it off. He felt panic rise inside him. This woman who owed him nothing and expected nothing was slipping. He carried her inside and sat her down, noticing how frail she truly was. She whispered that she managed alone, that she didn't want to be a burden, that life had taken her family long ago, and she'd learned not to expect kindness anymore. Those words cut deeper than any knife he'd ever faced. Before the sun completely vanished, he made a choice. He wasn't going to leave her alone in that silent cabin. Not tonight, not ever again, not as long as she needed someone. He lit the stove, cleaned the space, and cooked her a simple meal with the little food she had left. She watched him quietly, her eyes softening with a mix of surprise and gratitude. It was the first time he saw her smile, faint but real. Days passed, then weeks. Every morning he returned, sometimes with groceries, sometimes with medicine, sometimes just with company. His motorcycle, once a symbol of distance, became a reminder that someone always came back for her. The old woman regained strength slowly, warmed not just by firewood, but by the presence of someone who saw her, truly saw her. What he didn't expect was how much she healed him. In return, she reminded him of gentleness he thought he'd lost long ago. She asked about his life, not the crimes, not the gang, not the darkness, but about the boy he used to be before the world hardened him. She spoke to him like a mother would, with patience and care. For the first time in years, he ate at a dinner table. For the first time in years, he felt human. But life, in its fragile beauty, is always temporary. One winter night, he arrived to find her resting peacefully in her chair, the soft glow of the fireplace illuminating her face. She didn't wake when he called. Her name, she had gone quietly, gently. In the warmth he helped create, he knelt beside her, tears falling freely. For the first time he could remember, she had given him something priceless: connection, forgiveness, a home for his wounded soul. And although she was gone, her memory stayed, guiding him toward a better path. In her honor, he left the gang. He used his hands, not for violence, but for helping people who needed someone. The cabin became a place he maintained, visiting often, keeping it alive with flowers, fresh firewood, and quiet gratitude. Her kindness had saved him in ways no one else ever had. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who might need hope today, and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the humanity that still exists in the world. Before you go, comment below, what's one act of kindness you'll never forget?